If after a night of filling your rectum with vodka from a turkey baster, the cops find you changing a flat in the cereal aisle of a Piggly Wiggly and ask how much you've had to drink, and you say, nothing, are you lying? Well, no. Now, if they had been asking, have you been injecting? You'd have to say yes, but they said, have you been drinking? Well, no, absolutely. Yeah, Lord Stanhope, absolutely not. In fact, you all can try to answer these questions. Stand by. The program will begin soon. A WNBA game got stopped in the middle of the game because one of the players lost their wig while they're playing, and they had to run off. And then some fan made fun of the player, and they had to run. And they kicked the fan out for making fun of a player losing the weave. Not the weave, it was a wig. Losing their wig. They had to have a timeout for the wig, a wig emergency. Which I'm like, why the F are you wearing a wig while you're playing basketball? But then yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, a game had to be stopped briefly because someone threw a big old green dildo on the floor. Someone threw a dildo out on the floor, out of the court. They had to stop the game. I don't know if they caught the person who sent the dildo, but the green dildo was on the court, and a good large number of the players had no idea what to do with something of that shape, but that's okay. It happened, and then someone made this t-shirt or this meme, pay us what you owe us, which has a dildo on it. So that was... Hey, you know what the really good interrupt violence through community-based bystander training? Yeah, if the bystanders beat the fuck out of someone who's attacking somebody else, that would be great bystander training. They could send them to the MMA gym, you know, put them in an arm bar, smack them in the face a few times. Stop doing that bullshit. That would be the best community-based bystander training, but I don't think that's what he needs. Anyway. And then the other one, they'll go back all the way to Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof's the other one, which, does anyone, okay, let me ask you something. A lot of you are right-leaning or on the right. Is there anybody in this, that you, anyone you know of? Is there anyone that you know of on the right who supports or supported Dylan Roof? Because I know everyone I can think of who's like, Dylan Roof, fuck that guy. He went out and murdered people in a church. Fuck that guy. But the left is like, oh, he was a right-wing extremist. Nah, he's a fucking asshole. Fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck Dylan Roof. Nobody gives a shit about Dylan Roof. Nobody claims him. Nobody wants him. He's an asshole. Okay? He's a little punk bitch asshole who killed a bunch of people in a church. Stand by. The program will begin soon. Reverend Robin Bartlett of First Church of Sterling, Massachusetts, uses John 1:14 in the Bible to justify why she brings her 11-year-old son to drag shows. This is what we're getting in the Rainbow Church. The Rainbow Church aren't exactly hiding. That's true. The Word became flesh and lived among us, and my body, your body, their bodies are home for the living God. That is why I take my 11-year-old boy to drag shows in the summer with my friend and fellow church leaders, Kate, and her 11-year-old boy. Especially if you're a man, bodies can be celebrated and played with. That's her message. What the fuck? California wants to let someone that is not related to your child remove her from school, him or her, enroll her in any other school in the state, authorize any medical treatment, including mental health services and drugs, without the parent's notice and knowledge or consent. Can you see what that might be a problem? This is not fear-mongering. I'm not being hyperbolic. She warned these are unintended consequences, and it is terrifying. They are unconscionable or unavoidable. So that's one really bad California law that they're coming with. I can't believe. I'm just dumbfounded that they're doing it. Now this is interesting. That new mayor candidate, the leading Democratic mayor candidate for New York City mayor, Damme, wants cops to stop responding to attacks on Jews. And by the way, Jews in the New York City are victims of the majority of hate crimes. Not a plurality, but the majority of hate crimes against people in New York are against Jewish people. And especially religious hate crimes. Anyway, 345 hate crimes in New York City last year, more than all other minority groups combined, according to New York Police Department data. And Jewish crimes accounted for 54% of the 641 total hate crimes reported to police in the city in 2024. Since the beginning of the year, 60% of the 123 reported hate crimes have targeted Jews, according to the New York Police Department. Well, Zohran Mamdani, the radical Islamist and leftist terror supporter, has proposed that the New York Police Department not respond to hate crimes, instead that they be handled by social workers. Either this shifts resources away from responding to attacks on Jews and moves away from having law enforcement deal with those attacks, and instead has his political leftist allies deal with them by burying them. Every day on my show, if I put something on the screen, or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only PDawgKnight.
Hey there, hi there, ho there. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the PDawgKnight Channel on this Friday, the 14th of November, 2025. Just a couple weeks till Thanksgiving, my favorite holiday, because I love to cook for my family and friends, and it's just I just love Thanksgiving. It's funny because I usually don't eat that much of the meal. I used to, pile up plates and stuff, but I try to limit myself to one small plate on Thanksgiving. But probably because I cook the whole time and I'm always tasting everything I'm cooking. And by the time you have the meal, you're like, I can't eat a damn thing. But that's no matter. I hope you all are excited for the weekend. Does anyone have any great plans for the weekend? This is one of those weekends where I don't really have plans. Lady Boomer and I are probably going to start getting the house ready for our big Thanksgiving meal, because we try to do that in advance. Well, Lady Boomer does, and I just go along with it. But it's I don't think we're going to do any vacationing like we usually do, like we did last weekend. So I don't know what, but with us, everything's spur of the moment anyway. We don't really plan the vacation stuff too far out. Sometimes it's just all of a sudden we're doing something. So anyway, hope you have a good weekend as we come up to that, but let's get the show on the road. First by saying hi to everybody. First in the chat today. Who's first today? I didn't even notice. Who is it? Oh, well, today, first in the chat is Kara Soldier, who gets the bell. Yeah. There you go. Congratulations. Also, good morning, Avocados Diabli. Mike Savage. Blarg. Also, Gunfox61, the amazing administrator of the PDawgKnight Discord server. And also, dropping 3 Hamiltons in the tip jar. Before the show even starts, you are now the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. With a few articles, will successfully hijack the show by dropping Hamilton and a link, and I clicked all 3 links, and they're in the agenda for the day. Also, good morning, too. Who else is here? Jay Blizzard, what up, JB? Good morning, also, Ms. Wild Wolf. Midnight's here, a.k.a. Skella08. Also, Blue Eyed Scream, good morning. Robert Banks, what up, Banks? Also, good morning. Attack Alpaca, I see you there. Good morning, Lord Stanhope. Johnny Boomer Tech dropping dimes everywhere. By the way, I'm going to get rid of this pin message. If you haven't shared the show yet today, well, got to be quick. You still can, though. You can share it wherever. You don't. By the way, you don't have to share it on X. I don't care if you share it somewhere else. Share it on Facebook. Share it on what else? What else is there? Blue Sky. If you're on Blue Sky, share it on Blue Sky. You might get banned if you share it on Blue Sky. But there's all kinds of places you can share it. But if you where else can you do it? Or do I have a Reddit subreddit? I bet I don't. Has anyone thought of that? Also, I'm always curious, if you see something on my show that you think, oh, you should cut that and make that into a separate video, will you let me know? Because I am kind of limited at my time and stuff, and so if you see that, then I can go cut it and do it, but I put timestamps or whatever. But anyway, also good morning to my other favorite Canadian, Unacceptable Views is here. What's up? Also, as I scroll down, looks like everybody. Did I hit Lord Stanhope? Lord Stanhope, did you just get here? Maybe I already said it. Well, hi, Lord Stanhope, if I didn't. I don't remember what I said 30 seconds ago sometimes. So that's just how it works. Evan S is here. What up? Hi. So there you go. Facebook, X, Discord, Instagram, TT. What is TT? I don't even know what TT is. Oh, I know what Truth Social is. I forgot. I should probably post it there too. I only post on X for some reason. It gets really clunky trying to post 80 different places. I should get one of those content things that you can just click once and it sends it everywhere. I should have think of that. Anyway, share the damn stream, okay? Share the damn stream. Please. Please, don't go. Please. That's about as James Brown as I can get. James Brown. Okay, let's get the show on the road. Let me lighten up this chat again. Let's do the show. Thanks to the people sharing the stream. Let's check that out. What is this? Oh, that's just the main page. Let me see who shared the stream already too, because I like to recognize y'all. I see Ms. Wildwolf put her GIF, our own homemade GIF, which I like. Is that something I can find? I mean, where did that come from? I know you made it. You had to have made it. Anyway, people who've shared the stream already include JB reposting or liking the post or whatever, and reposting the post of my post of the show and it's very impacting. Also, Miss Wildwolf's tweeted out the show as always. I appreciate that. Oh, I didn't repost. Yeah, I did repost that. Okay, good. And also this GIF. Where is it? How can I find that? Loading screen. What does that mean? I was eating some rice and chicken and a little salad that one of the deli ladies made. By the way, good morning to the Pope. Pope Tyrannius III. The Blessed Lich with the daily message of hope from not the Father, not the Son, but from the Holy Ghost, who says, "Blessing of the merciful dead. Yesterday I was one way. Tomorrow I will be different from who I am." I'm assuming that means today. I think you missed a two there. Of who I am today. It takes a single day to begin a change, and only a day to keep the change going. Yes, one day at a time. Just do a little bit each day, and eventually the change will become permanent. All right. Also, thank you, Mike Savage, the day that let us go in the X thing there, and there's the gift, free for all Friday. Let's go. I mean, that is a gift just for. I don't understand the wiping of the shaving cream all over the face, but everything else I get. I get it. Also, let's see, and there is the daily Ric Flair. Woo! I wish I could do a good Ric Flair imitation, but he's so animated. Oh, you did it twice. We got two of the Ric Flairs. How about you? I'm gonna do it twice too then. Fine. I got you. So there you go. And thanks Ty Alexander and JB for retweeting my post of the show. All right, that's it. Enough of that, because I got to get to Free for All Friday, Friday Q&A, and if I don't get this done real quick, I'm not going to be able to do that. So obviously, I didn't do a holiday. Gosh dang it, holiday. Doom boom doom 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 doom. Celebrate. Doom 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 doom. Today's Red Friday, of course. Red Friday, when we say we remember everyone deployed, although I always forget to wear red on Red Friday until I get here and I'm like down here and I'm already doing stuff and I don't have red, but I had red on yesterday. But anyway, it's not necessarily that you have to wear red, but it's just remember those deployed. If you have a relative or a friend or anyone who's stationed somewhere else than on the good old American soil, send them some cookies or a message of love and hope and whatnot, and that'll make their day. So remember everyone deployed. Also, and I don't have any other holidays up, so let's just go to the calendar. Today is National Pickle Day. Oh yeah, baby. Who loves a good pickle? And I don't mean, I could have played that music, but I'm not even going to do that. Hi, Anon, 1, 2, 3. Is in the chat. Celebrate National Pickle Day with all your favorite pickled snacks, from cucumbers to peppers and more. Jimmy John's right now has dill pickle flavored chips in a promotion, and they have a sandwich called a Pickle-wich. It's like they make the sandwich, but they scoop out a big old pickle and they put the sandwich in the pickle. And it sounds really weird to me, and I'm not really necessarily willing to try it, but I've seen people get them, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. Okay. Anyway, it's also International Girls' Day. Yeah. Wait a minute. I have a daughter and 2 granddaughters and maybe a third one on the way. I love National Girls' Day. Let's have it for National Girls' Day. Celebrate with friends and family. Lift each other up, empower one another, and make a difference in the world. And I tell you what, I love the girls in my life. Just saying. National American Teddy Bear Day. Who thought of that? National Spicy Guacamole Day. National Seatbelt Day. Do y'all? Okay, here's a poll. Okay. Do you? Oh fuck. Sorry. Do you regularly wear your seat belt? Now, I'm going to assume most people do, just because most states now have nanny state laws called the seatbelt laws. But I was wearing seatbelts before that, and I would not drive my vehicle if I was on a date or whether like a lady boomer or whatever. I would not put my vehicle in drive until she put a seatbelt on. And that really annoyed the shit out of her, but she married me anyway, so it's all good. It worked out. So there you go. Don't drive, take the MTA, but yeah, okay. Yeah, I see it. Oh, we got another Hamilton from Gunfox 61. My gosh, man. You're keeping me in Keep me alive. I appreciate it. This is Space News. ISS plan to go ahead. I don't know what that means, but I'll click the link and we're going to talk about it. We'll get back to that. Anyway, also it's operating room nurse day. Let's make sure that they're in there because nurses are important. I don't think you realize how important nurses are in operating rooms. World Diabetes Day. Again, one of these days where we're celebrating something we shouldn't be. Who's going to celebrate diabetes? Now, if it was World Diabetes Prevention Day, then I can see it. That makes sense. But, you know, anyway, Anti-Bullying Week and National Marie Day. So if your name is Marie, it's your day. All right. Let's move on. What else I got on the preliminary stuff here? Oh, today is also the 65th anniversary of Ruby Bridges' integration into William Franz Elementary School in New Orleans. November 14th, 2025 is the 65th anniversary of the 6-year-old Ruby Bridges integrating William Franz Elementary School in New Orleans amid racial harassment prompted nationwide nationwide commemoration and online discussions. Oh, now here's something that I laughed about because here's this again. X summarizes things based on what people post, right? And so this summary by Grok says Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett linked the milestone to criticism of Trump administration policies on HBCU funding, Pell Grants, and DEI initiatives, sparking partisan exchanges on X, blah, blah, blah. Facts checks confirmed no cuts to HBCU or Pell Grant funding, though an executive order ended federal DEI programs. And in fact, because here's what she wrote. It's only been 65 years since 6-year-old Ruby Bridges walked through the halls of William Franz Elementary at the first black child to attend an all-white school. Met with mobs of hate. Her bravery and courage helped change the course of history for this nation. Now we're witnessing the administration attempt to drag us back. Here are the facts. Trump and his billionaire buddies have cut HBCU funding, limited Pell Grants, and attacked DEI. I will continue fighting every single day to protect our kids, our rights, and our history. We should all recommit to honoring Ruby and her bravery by ensuring that all our children, regardless of background, have access to fair, just, and equal education. Now! Girl, you lie your ass off. You lying your ass off, okay? No, this is the first, the child. Oh, what did she say? The first? Oh, no, yeah, she's wrong on the first elementary school child. But yeah, the Little Rock was integrated in 1957. But let's come back to this for a second. She's lying about the HBCU funding. The HBCU funding went up 48% this year. In the year of Trump, he didn't cut anything. Pell Grants have not been cut. This is a complete and utter lie. In fact, right here, Trump administration, January 2025 executive order targeted federal DEI initiatives as wasteful, while HBCU funding rose 48% to $495 million, despite $350 million in cuts to other minority institution grants. Pell Grant maximum remained at $7,395 after proposals for reduction were rejected. So no, they didn't cut it. It was rejected. She's full of shit. Anyway, so still a momentous day in history when 6-year-old Ruby Bridges began attending an all-white elementary school in New Orleans in 1960, becoming the youngest of a group of black students to racially integrate schools in the American, whatever the rest of this sentence is, American South. So big day. I grew up in the North, so I didn't, of course I didn't. Let's see, when did I start school? 70. Yeah, kind of. I guess kindergarten I started in 1960. Holy shit, am I old? But we already had I wasn't even the only black kid in my school, even though I lived out in what essentially was a suburb of Omaha. I was okay. Let me tell you this. So my parents, when they were looking for a house, my parents were both teachers. And they were looking for a house in Omaha back in the day. There's a really good article written about this by my sister's former partner. My sister passed away several years ago, but he wrote this really good article about it. But what had happened was my parents, when there actually was redlining, were victims of redlining. Basically, they were looking at houses. They wanted to buy a house. They and the like they'd go to an open house and the realtors would just ignore them. And and they were just like, okay, this is bullshit. So and then they wanted to move out more into West Omaha, and most of the black people in Omaha lived in North Omaha, except for our veterinarian for our dog, who lived in the richest white neighborhood in Omaha, like just on the edge. He built his house completely of stone so no one would burn it down. But anyway, I digress. So my parents were like, okay, these realtors won't show us any houses. So there was a little tiny section in West Omaha, like most of West Omaha was Omaha, but there's this little tiny section that was unincorporated that was kind of in the middle of the growth going west. And so my parents, along with another teacher from another school and this developer, basically developed a neighborhood that wasn't in the city limits. Even though it was, kind of within the city limits, it was technically not city limits, unincorporated. And so they basically built this neighborhood, and our neighborhood was, it was about, by the time that the whole neighborhood got completed, there was probably 10% black families, and it wasn't like an all black neighborhood. It was an integrated neighborhood. But if you go over the hill to other neighborhood, our neighborhood was called New Horizon. The other neighborhood over there was called Lee Valley. Lee Valley was like as lily white as fuck. But we all went to the same elementary school. So I went to this elementary school, and I was one of 4 kids in my elementary school that was black. Me, my sister, and the 2 girls up the street who were they were sisters. And it was just us 4 when I first went to Thomas Alva Edison Elementary School. Now, the kicker here was we had the same, me and the girls up the street, me, my sister, and the girls up the street, we had the same last name. So everyone at the school thought we were all related, like we were all brothers and sisters. But we weren't. We just happened to have the same last name, and it was weird. But then as our neighborhood grew, some more kids of many different races. We had our neighborhood is like it was mostly white people. We had some black people. We had a couple of Mexicans. The Gonzalez's up this hill. It was like an integrated neighborhood in 1969, which is cool. But anyway, and then Omaha's changed a lot since then. But I just thought that was interesting, and so it's not like we integrated the school, because me and my sister were the second black kids to go to that school. Anyway, all right, but anyway, Jasmine Crockett's stupid, and that's the whole point of the story. All right, moving on. John Cena's trending. That's why I have him on the thumbnail up here. Oh, up here, there, the thumbnail up there. John Cena. We get a lot of wrestling talk in this show. John Cena, after 23 years of being in WWE, will be participating in his last Monday Night Raw in Madison Square Garden. He wrote this on, he put this on X. Over 23 years, you've allowed me to have 544 matches on WWE Raw. The most in WWE history. My favorite match is my next one, which will be our last one. Last match. Cheers to John Cena. Don't miss the last chance to grace the Garden ring as we set for a Raw Live Monday night on Netflix. So if you're a wrestling fan, I mean, it's soap operas for guys. Come on, it's all scripted and shit, but it's fun. It's fun, it's physical, it's whatever. And so a lot of people are saying, bye John Cena. Now, this is not John Cena. What the hell? I don't know what that is. But anyway, so John Cena's coming back, and he's been a fixture for a while. He kind of after The Rock left, they needed some star power, and they made John Cena the what do they call it? Baby face. He was like the king baby face. He was a bad guy for a while, but he's been a baby face most of his career. Just because, even when he was the time he was a bad guy, everyone loved him. So, there you go, John Cena. I'm pretty sure you couldn't see him anyway, right? All right, let's see here. We got let's do Gunfox's articles now, because I want to make sure we get it in before Free for All Friday. Gunfox has given us a plethora. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. Starting with this one. Is this right? Is this the right one? The first one. Let's see. First one says things to come. Oh yeah, fortune. This is it. All right, we're gonna start with this one, and we'll see what Gunfox has slung into my pouch here. We are guilty of. We are guilty of spending our rainy day fund in sunny weather. Top economists, historians unite to urge action on the $38 trillion national debt. It's about fucking time! Somebody said that. So this is in Fortune magazine. It's a pretty short article, so I think we're gonna go through the whole thing. The United States national debt, currently standing at $38 trillion and exceeding 120% of annual economic output, demands action, experts warn. The nonpartisan Peter G. Peterson Foundation gathered a series of distinguished national economists and historians from outside the foundation in a collection of essays published on Thursday. In fact, I'll even put that link in here. Okay, the series of essays there. I'm not going to sign up for the newsletter though. The excerpts also explored. They analyzed risks to U.S. economic strength, dollar dominance, and global leadership. The experts also explored the national debt's impact on interest, inflation, and financial markets, with some characterizing this moment in history as a crisis. Unfortunately, they'll do the wrong thing in a crisis. That's the biggest problem. And some people just don't give a shit. They just want to spend what they want to spend. But anyway, collectively, they argue that the nation is operating under a dangerous fiscal gamble. Oh, you think? Assessing the mounting liabilities, Council on Foreign Relations President Emeritus Richard Haas and NYU Professor Carolyn Kissane delivered a stark judgment. Quote, in simpler terms, we are guilty of spending our rainy day fund in sunny weather. What rainy day fund? Oh, is that like the Social Security lockbox that Elcor used to talk about? Meaning the government has little dry powder left to fund major military effort or stimulate the economy during a crisis. The debt crisis has reached a critical threshold. The U.S. now spends approximately $1 trillion annually just servicing the debt. I'm not going to make the joke. Anyway, a figure that surpasses the country's spending on defense. So we're spending more on our debt than we are on defense right now. And we spend more on defense than anyone in the world. Economist Heather Long wrote that the 2020s are fast becoming the era of big permanent deficits, with annual budget gaps projected to remain high, around 6% of GDP, even though unemployment is low, a startling departure from U.S. historical norms, except for recent history. Economists warn that solutions that worked in the past, such as the post-World War II debt reduction or the 1990 surpluses, are unavailable today. Economist Barry Eichengreen explained that the debt's steep decline after World War II was supported by a highly favorable interest rate growth rate differential, low real interest rates, and fast GDP growth. Likewise, the 1990s reduction was fueled by the peace dividend, enabling deep cuts in defense spending. None of these facilitating conditions is present today. And, it's unfortunate because, I like the fact that Trump was telling the Europeans, hey, you got to step up and start funding your own defense, or at least get up in line with what we've been doing. But we still the ones defending the world. They're not going to get that up and running fast enough. So we're stuck with it right now. Now, the threat to national security and the dollar. Eichengreen, for his part, noted that current security threats from Russia, Iran, and the South China Sea create pressures for defense spending increases, not cuts. Compounding the problem is political polarization, which is cited as the most robust determinant working against the successful fiscal consolidation, you think. With major entitlement programs politically protected, this fiscal gridlock leaves raising additional revenue as the most viable path, given that the United States is now a low-tax revenue economy compared to its peers. Oh, so they want us to raise taxes more. You don't think we can cut spending enough. That's what they think. The debt is framed not just as the financial strain, but as a direct threat to security. Haas and Hussein emphasize that money spent on borrowing is money not available for more productive purposes, from discretionary domestic spending to defense, a classic crowding out phenomenon. Underfunded programs, including cybersecurity and public health, hollow out internal capacities that protect the homeland. But Democrats want to spend more on public health. They want to make those subsidies permanent. Another $1.5 trillion. The crisis was characterized by Haas and Hussein as one moving in slow motion, which is the most difficult type for democratic governments to address effectively. Avoiding a sudden cliff scenario where bond markets crash, experts argue, is not avoiding the crisis itself. They added, the day will come when the boiling water finally kills the frog. That's where we're at. Yeah, we're in the pot. We are definitely in the pot. And for some reason, none of these fucking frogs realize that they're starting to get cooked. The institutional integrity undergirding the U.S. dollar is also at risk. Historian Harold James wrote that he sees the situation as the middle of a very dangerous experiment with the U.S. dollar and with the international monetary system, whose fundamental driver is a fiscal gamble. Erosion of rule of law, accountability, and transparency raises the specter of political risk in the U.S. sovereign bond markets, making dollar dominance harder to maintain. Disturbingly, the potential for political interference in institutions such as the Federal Reserve or the tampering with national statistics, as seen in Argentina's cautionary tale, further erodes confidence. James' colleague, politics professor Lena Mosley, cited the famous comment from the French statesman Valéry Giscard d'Estaing, who described the exorbitant privilege the U.S. enjoyed on the back of the dollar. She noted that by virtue of the global role of the U.S. dollar and the U.S. leadership of the global finance system, its government has been able to borrow significant amounts at generous terms, but now the government actions and policy generate uncertainty and instability and undermine the rules-based liberal international order from which the U.S. benefited greatly. The loss of credibility. This loss of credibility. Now, are they going to blame the loss of credibility on Trump or just our Congress in general? I'm curious. The loss of credibility empowers bond markets, and their displeasure can lead to sudden, painful economic consequences for everyday Americans, though surging interest rates on mortgages and loans. Haas and Hussein turn to another metaphor, saying that the situation is akin to foregoing the fire or automobile insurance just because the odds are you will never suffer from a fire at home or an accident on the road. So, yeah, we've been playing with fire for a long frickin' time. Shit, I want to end domestic welfare and foreign aid. Okay. So anyway, thank you, Gun Fox, for that one. But we are not done because we have several from Gun Fox here. And this, oh, shit. Now, I've been waiting to hear this. I didn't see things to come. No, that's things to come. California. This is it's about fucking time. California is revoking 17,000 commercial driver's licenses for immigrants. Kind of curious why they had them in the first place. And it's funny because this is the AP. Notice how this is even worse. Notice how the AP says immigrants. Shouldn't it be immigrants and trespassers? Because some are maybe immigrants, but I bet a lot of them are not legal here legally. All right, let's see. California plans to revoke. Think about this. 17,000. 17,000. California plans to revoke. And you know what? Here's the thing. The problem is, okay, you revoke 17,000 licenses, right? You revoke 17,000 commercial driver's licenses given to immigrants after discovering the expiration dates went past when the drivers were legally allowed to be in the U.S. State officials said Wednesday. So it's only it's only because they discovered something that the expiration dates went past when the drivers were legally allowed to be here. That's bullshit. That's bullshit right there. Just that line alone. They knew they were illegally handing out these licenses. However, how are these people, 17,000 holders of CDLs from California, how will they find out that their license has been expired? And also, how will any authority where they're driving gonna realize it? Like, they're just gonna keep driving. I bet more than half will just keep driving. The announcement follows harsh criticism from the Trump administration about California and other states granting license to people in the country illegally. The issue was thrust into the public consciousness in August when a tractor-trailer driver not authorized to be in the United States made an illegal U-turn and caused a crash in Florida that killed 3 people. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said Wednesday that California's action to revoke these licenses is an admission that the state acted improperly, even though it previously defended the licensing standards. California launched its review of the commercial driver's licenses it issued after Duffy raised concern. So they did give a shit. They were just going to do it anyway. After weeks of claiming they did nothing wrong, Gavin Newsom and California have been caught red-handed. Now they've exposed their lies. 17,000 illegally issued trucking licenses are being revoked, Duffy said, referring to the state's governor. This is just the tip of the iceberg. My team will continue to force California to prove they have removed every illegal immigrant from behind the wheel of semi-trucks and school buses. The problem is, too, there is a federal law, and this is not anything to do with Trump, that anyone holding a CDL in the United States must be able to speak English, and they're finding that a shit ton of these don't speak English proficiently, even can't read the fucking signs. So anyway, Newsom spokesman Brandon Richards shot back at Duffy in a statement. Once again, the Sean Road Rules Duffy fails to share the truth, spreading easily disproven falsehoods in a sad and desperate attempt to please his dear leader. What did he get wrong, Brandon? Fatal truck crashes in Texas and Alabama earlier this year also highlight questions about these licenses. A fiery California crash that killed 3 people last month involved a truck driver in the country illegally, only adding to the... Okay, I notice how they didn't say in this article by the AP, which is... very, let's just say very Democrat friendly. What was, he says Duffy got it wrong. How did Duffy get it wrong? If they're revoking 17,000 of these licenses, what did he fail to share? He says Duffy fails to share the truth, spreading easily disproven falsehoods. You're revoking the fucking licenses. What are you talking about? Hello, Annalyn. Hi. Did I already say that? I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I did again. Duffy previously imposed new restrictions on which immigrants can qualify for commercial driver's license. Are they new, though? Are they really new? He said earlier this fall that California and 5 other states had improperly issued commercial driver's licenses to non-citizens. But California is the only state Duffy has taken action against because it was the first one where an audit was completed. The review in other states have been delayed by the government shutdown, but the Transportation Department is urging them to all tighten their standards. And look, the only reason, and here's the only reason California is doing it. Here's the only reason California is doing it. Duffy revoked $40 million in federal funding because it said California isn't enforcing English language requirements for truckers. And so now they're finally taking action. and that it will take another $160 million from the state over these improperly issued licenses if they don't invalidate every single illegal license and address all the concerns, but revoking these licenses is part of the state's effort to comply. So, I mean, what this guy said, he's failing to tell the truth, but you're revoking 17,000 licenses. So what did he get wrong there? What's his name? Brandon Richards. If it was Thursday, I'd be saying FTG Brandon Richards, and I'm saying it anyway. Fuck that guy. All right, moving on. Okay, this is on the plane. This is one of the plane crash. NTSB update on DC plane crash. This is in People magazine of all places, but let's see what it says. Air traffic controller in disastrous DC plane crash explains what they were thinking and one thing they would change. Okay. Earlier this year, okay, we know about the DC flight where the helicopter flew into the plane and everyone died. So apparently the controller, that main air traffic controller, was interviewed for nearly 3.5 hours by government investigators. The controller, whose name has not been made public, spoke about their background, their history in the flight industry, and most crucially, their thoughts and decisions on the night of January 29th, when a Black Hawk military helicopter collided with an American Airlines jet outside Washington, D.C., killing 67 people in a fiery explosion. The air traffic controller's interview was released in late July, along with thousands of other pages of records, as part of a public hearing, which I'll link there, held by the National Transportation Safety Board. The controller's interview, together with other NTSB documents, provides perhaps the clearest picture of the actions of the handful of people directly involved in what went wrong in January. The two pilots of American Airlines Flight 5342 and the 3-member Army crew aboard the helicopter are all dead, though transcripts from the cockpit recorders have offered some details into their final minutes, and the NTSB is continuing to investigate. But in its work so far, including hearings this summer, raised serious questions about the Army helicopter's conduct, given that it was flying too high and too close to the commercial jet, too close is pretty obvious, as though unaware of the dangers as well as issues with the infamously congested airspace around Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport, where helicopters and planes have long intermingled, but never tried to dance. The air traffic controller, in their interview with officials on January 31st at Federal Aviation Administration headquarters, explained they're using their role because they don't want you to know who it is. In January 29th, for the decisions they made in directing both the helicopter and the larger plane before the crash, to when they realized something was wrong. I think they realized, they realized something wrong when they crashed. The controller also addressed certain choices, like having American Airlines jet switch runways just minutes before the crash, and why they didn't notify those pilots about the approaching helicopter that might or might not have changed what happened. Repeatedly, the controller indicated they were relying on the helicopter crew's assurance that they had visual sight of the larger plane and could navigate around it. So they're saying that the main cause is this: the helicopter pilot crew, whatever, was that error. A nearly 10-year veteran of the FAA, the controller had long been an aviation enthusiast. I'm just to say he, because we know that the entire crew in the air towers was male. We already knew that, okay? I don't know why they keep saying they. It's a he. So I guess as a little kid, I've always been infatuated with airplanes, he said. The 36-year-old graduated from Middle Tennessee State University. Okay, is this a fluff piece? I just want to know what happened. People magazine's like making it a fluff piece. Here, what they did the night of the crash. The basic sequence of events, January 29th collision, has long been clear. American Airlines flight was headed to D.C. from Wichita, Kansas. A number of young figure skaters were on board. At the same time, the Army helicopter... I can just tell from that one line that the air traffic controller in this case was relying on the Army helicopter to be in the right place and with visuals, and it was flying too high, and they crashed. This is This is fascinating. And he also said staffing was adequate. They rated the complexity of the air traffic as between a 3 and 4, but said it was actually decreasing shortly before the collision. Things were starting to slow down. Staffing was adequate. They were doing air traffic control for both planes and helicopters, which had been a bit of a strain, they admitted, but was just as the controller was getting ready to ask for an additional pair of hands, I got rid of a few helicopters and things got easier. So they weren't overloaded. There was enough staffing in the air tower, but I'm getting the idea that they're blaming it on the helicopter. Okay, but the whole article is in the links today. Thank you, Gunfox, for that one. Got one more. I can get rid of that article. I have two more. No, one more from Gunfox. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is the fourth one. Okay. Oh, and this is little space station news. We got, Gunfox is our NASA correspondent, NASA and everything, outer space correspondent, NASA and everything outer space. Did I say that right? Yeah, kind of. Anyway, the International Space Station, I guess we're saying goodbye. NASA confirms that it will fall into the sea and that they still don't know who will be its replacement. So the International Space Station is being scrapped for the most part. It has been orbiting the Earth for 3 decades. I remember when they put it in the sky. That was the coolest thing. They got, they had international cooperation, a bunch of people from different countries going up there and shit. But the International Space Station is getting ready to say goodbye to outer space. NASA has confirmed that in 2030, the world's most famous floating laboratory will be deorbited in a controlled way and will probably, what do you mean probably? Will probably fall into the Pacific Ocean. Would something that large cause a mini tsunami? What do you mean probably will fall into the Pacific Ocean? Probably. Hello, Selector Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Probably fall. And what are the other possibilities here? Will it land on Hawaii? Will it land on Guam? Will it land on Guam and Guam will capsize? Oh no, it will mostly burn up. Well, you should hope so. You should hope so. Okay. Look, I knew it'd probably be like something mostly burn up, but I just thought it was funny that they say it will probably fall into the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, so it could land on Cleveland. What does that mean? Anyway, I've had enough fun with that. And so one of the most exciting scientific collaborations in our history will come to an end. But of course, now comes the question, who's next? Oh no, that's John Cena's line. What's next? No, who's next was that Brock's theme? Who's next? Or was that Stone Cold? Who had the who's next gimmick in the WWE? Anyway, it was launched into space in 1998, and the International Space Station has been much more than connected modules. It has been home for many a laboratory and the first human experiment in space. For 25 years, crews from all over the world have lived up there, carrying out more than 4,000 experiments, growing the first space lettuce, studying how microgravity affects the human body, observing dark matter particles, and in the process, they learned something even more valuable: how to work together. Aww. That's so sweet. Even in the most difficult conditions. It was a global cooperation in a time when that seemed almost impossible. Also, though, goodbye to $150 billion. Holy shit. Building and maintaining the station has cost a fortune, no exaggeration. It is estimated around $150 billion, and NASA alone has invested about $3 billion per year in its operation. Many expected those billions of dollars to bring astonishing discoveries, miraculous cures, or breakthroughs that would change history, but the reality was different. The International Space Station taught us how to work and build beyond Earth. So it had no real breakthroughs then. That's what they're just saying, right? It was an experiment because every cable, every routine, every mission up there was a lesson for future lunar and Martian colonies. With the end of the International Space Station, NASA has decided to pass the torch. There will be no more projects on its part, and it will hand over space operations to private enterprises, which will probably come up with dozens of discoveries in their first year because, they just seem to work better. The plan is called CLD, Commercial Low Earth Orbit Destinations. And the idea is that companies such as Axiom Space, Blue Origin, the giant penis rockets, or Starlab will build and launch their own stations. These platforms will be used for space tourism, even orbital logistics. Sounds good, although not everyone is convinced yet. Many wonder whether researchers will end up becoming customers of these large corporations or whether business will outweigh science. But there are many uncertainties since it is a very different model from which we have now, where knowledge is shared and results are public. Is science in danger? Well, who knows? But and that's it. Okay, so that's it. That's enough. That's good. Thank you, Gunfox. I'm skipping every other article I have open because you know what, people? I hate to do this. Well, no, I don't hate to. I love to do this. What am I talking about? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is now. It is time. Every day, every Friday of the week on Morning Night Live. It's Friday Q&A. Yes, it's that time, guys. I looked at the clock and I'm like, I can't read any more articles. I have a bunch open. The aggregator's open. If you want to find stuff, I've got a plethora of things that you'll see in the links when I drop them into the chat. But for now, it is time for Friday Q&A, everyone's favorite part of the week. Oh my God, what are these notifications? What the hell? Oh, some more people more people said let's go and shit. Resolute Germ got a John Cena up here. Thank you. Oh, let me put that up there. There. Thank you for sharing the show. Greatly appreciated. Also, and Miss Wild Wolf. Oh, just retweeting some other shit that I said. Okay, and then some people more shit. Oh, there we go. National Pickle Day, CG. Wasn't that from today? Yeah, it's today's National Pickle Day, right? I'm gonna be posting that shit. Very good. All right, thank you very much. It's time for Friday Q&A, our favorite time of the week. And let's just, let me get this ready so I can do this quickly later. Let me do that. One tab. And there we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right, today's first question on Friday Q&A comes from Jay Blizza in the house. Why is my tab not working? There it is. Okay. First question of the day is from JB. Thank you, JB. If a random stranger started giving you lemons every day for the rest of your life, what would you do with them? Well, lemons are a very versatile item, right? So first of all, I would have a lot more opportunities, like just a bunch of lemons or just one, or well, it doesn't matter. I can answer this question if it's 1 lemon a day or if it's 10 lemons a day. I definitely would drink more lemonade because I love me some lemonade, especially fresh squeezed lemonade. It's one of my favorite things. In fact, I buy lemons a lot, and so yes, fresh squeezed lemonade. But also, lemons are good for cleaning. Did you know that? If you put some little salt on a lemon, whatever, and you scrape it, you can clean surfaces, or you can squeeze it into a bottle with some little bit of white vinegar and whatever, and it's good for a lot of stuff. So if I was having an overabundance of lemons, I would just start cleaning some shit. So there you go. There's your answer. Stick with that, and thank you very much. Avocados Diablo asks, do airport bars exist solely to ensure a steady supply of drunk and disorderlies for the municipalities to have a steady source of revenue and me a steady source of entertainment? That is a strong possibility. They may actually been thinking about you when they designed airport bars. But frankly, I love me a good airport bar because Lady Boomer doesn't like to fly that much and usually has to have at least one glass of wine before we get on a flight. So thank God for airport bars, and she does not get drunk and disorderly because I wouldn't let that happen. Okay, next question. Avocado Stiali asks, If you were kidnapped by a mad scientist who grafted the arms of a three-toed sloth to your butt cheeks, and you became a masked crime-fighting superhero, what would you call yourself? I would call myself Slow Steady. Slow Steady. Because those sloth arms just wouldn't move very fast. And I don't know what other powers I'd have, but that sounds like a good superhero name. Slow Steady. Do not mess with Slow Steady. It'll take a while, but I will subdue you. Okay, moving on. Lord Stanhope asks, in your honest professional opinion, as a bartender, what is the line that separates old enough to know better and too old to know better? Learn anything? Huh? I'm trying to read this in a way that makes sense to me. Okay. What is the line that separates old enough to know better and too old to know better or to learn anything? Or to learn anything. I got you. What is the line? What is the line that separates those two? Old enough to know better, too old to know better or learn anything. Usually, that first little hint of Alzheimer's, when you start forgetting shit. That's usually the line. I don't know if that was a very, very nice answer, but that's about all I could think of. Okay, JB asked, same question as before, which you talk about the lemons? Yeah, the lemons. Okay, same question with the lemons as before, but now the lemons have human faces on them that are distorted by fear and anguish. What would you do with a lemon then? Oh my God, that's some disturbing shit. Oh my God, if someone gave you lemons every day that had human faces on them that are distorted by fear and anguish, what would you do with the lemons first? Well, look, if it's just like lemons with faces but they're not living, I would still make some fucking lemonade because I love me some lemonade. I'm saying. And then, look, if you put a little salt on them with those angry faces, you could just get mad cleaning done. You know what I'm saying? So the answer doesn't change unless, of course, those lemons started talking to you. And then I'd be like, what the fuck is that? What'd you say? You're scary as hell. All right. Avocados Diablo asks, if you woke up in a small space with very little room to move and no apparent way out, and only a lighter, which when you lit it, you saw a thumbnail of Adam Schiff in your face, would you scream? No! I would not scream, but damn it. I am never going to be able to forget that Adam Schiff face from the thumbnail. Oh my God. I wouldn't scream. I'd scream. I'm going to scream when you bring it up every time, though. Jay Blizza asks, what is the hidden meaning behind the word chicken jockey? What the bloody hell is chicken jockey? Is this something I have to look up and I'm going to be pissed off when I see what it is? Here we go. Chicken. Oh, okay. A chicken jockey in Minecraft is a rare hostile mob formed when a baby zombie villager, baby husk, baby drowned, or baby zombified piglin spawns while riding a chicken. Oh my God. I've never played Minecraft. In fact, I've never seen anybody play Minecraft. I keep hearing about it. And in fact, look, by the way, I don't know if you saw my my video from Marty's Big Journey where we saw the big Minecraft bird. This is at a park, at a sculpture park in where is it? It's near Taylor's Falls, Minnesota. They have this sculpture park. Let me see if I can find that picture. And there's at the front of the park, there's this giant Minecraft bird. That's one of the sculptures. It should be right here. Let's see. There it is. This is the Minecraft bird. I call it a Minecraft bird. It's a bird made of pixels. So yeah, it's sitting out right in front of the park, which is pretty funny to me. I mean, it's a funny sculpture. But so anyway, yeah, so is that what the chicken looks like? That well, I see there's a picture here of the chicken too. This picture right here. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the origin of that is, and frankly, I'm just laughing at the whole concept. Okay, where was I here? JB asks, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I think she's back in Argentina. Isn't she from Argentina? Is Carmen from Argentina? Is she retired yet? I think she retired to her villa in Argentina because she's very wealthy and she doesn't need to fucking travel all that much. I mean, I'm pretty sure she has problems with her hips and arthritis and shit. So she just said, fuck it, I'm done. I'm going home. Lord Stanhope asks, is it true BreadTube is called BreadTube because they loaf around all day and would be toast in the real world, as well as being crummy people? Oh, I see what you did there. They'd be crummy people. Okay, no, they're called BreadTube because they'd be willing to stand in bread lines under socialism. That's why they're called BreadTube. Jay Blizza asks, what would your superhero name be? Well, I already, what I call myself with the sloth arms hanging out of my ass? Slow steady? I'd be slow steady. I don't move that fast anymore either because I have another hip problem. I need to replace the other hip, and I'm not ready to do it. So once I replace the other hip, I might be able to play basketball again. But right now, no, hell no. All right. Midnight asks, Una Reverse asked me a question. I just now remembered that. Okay. Okay. Midnight. And this is the only time I'm ever going to do this. Okay. But listen carefully. If I gave you $6, right now, how would you spend it? $6. How would you spend $6? Think very carefully. Think of your answer. Put it in the regular chat. I'll find it. How would you spend $6 if I gave you $6 right now? Think hard. We'll come back to that. Okay. Lord Stanhope asks, is it too soon to openly admire the great Roman known as Gaius Claudius Caesar, known to us as Caligula? What would too soon be? I don't know who that is. Y'all ask me shit I don't know shit about. Caligula. Who was Caligula? Oh, okay. Caligula, Roman emperor from 37 to 41 CE, who succeeded Tiberius and transferred the last legion under the Censuration Protocol, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not too early. That's 41, year 41. No, it's okay. Crazy fuck he was. Yeah, whatever. He was bad, but if you're going to worship him, that's your own personal thing there. That's weird, but go on. Avocado Sally asks, would you rather drive from New York City to Los Angeles and back again in a 1981 Yugo with 3 full-grown St. Bernards, or spend one night spooning with Jeffrey Dahmer? I'm driving. I'm in a Yugo. Even in a Yugo. I mean, it may take me... Because look, to drive from New York to California, for me, let's see, about 12 hours to there, another 12 hours there. I could do it in 4 days, maybe 3. But because it's a Yugo, it might take me a month for all the times you have to stop to get it repaired. But, I'm not spooning with Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm not spooning with any man, but especially not Jeffrey Dahmer. Jay Blizza asks, a mysterious stranger hands you lemons with human faces, saying you have to eat them so the soul trapped in the lemon can go to heaven. What would you do? Well, I guess I would eat them unless the faces started talking to me. Look, the face part doesn't bother me as much as if the faces spoke to me. Like if it's just faces, like, you know how, sometimes you see a tree, right? And you see a tree, and when you look at the pattern of the light that's coming through the tree, it looks like Jesus. Okay, that's fine if it looks like Jesus, but if it is Jesus, I'm in trouble because I got some sinning to repent for, and I haven't done it lately. So, yeah, if the lemons are just like a figment of my imagination, the faces, then it's fine. I don't care. I'll eat all the lemons, unless those faces start talking to me. Okay. Why are you on a lemon kick today? I don't get it. Okay. Jay Blizz asks, it turns out that the soul's trapped in the lemons. Oh my God. We're actually evil spirits that are now destroying the world. Do you try to stop them or do you just walk away? Those lemons are going into the blender. Okay. That's what's happening to those lemons if that happens. All right. Avocado Diablo asks, have you ever had your nose so full of snot that while you slept, it dried into a perfectly molded form of your nostril? The problem is you never know because you can never get that out in one piece. So it's very possible, but I don't know. That'd be a big ass booger though. Lord Stand-Up asks, if in your honest opinion, professional opinion, as a bartender, how fat is too fat to take home? You know what I'm talking about. Look, I've been out of the game for 33 years. I'm not answering that question. No, I'll answer it. Look, if Ray Charles could figure it out, you can figure it out. Ray Charles had the wrist circumference rule. He didn't even have to see. He just hold her by the wrist. She'd be like, "Oh no, I ain't going home with that. Oh hell no." All right, let's see. Like if your fingers can't touch when you put your hand around a wrist, it's probably too fat. Okay, let's see. Lord Stand-Up asks, when you were in elementary school, how much? Oh, I got a lot of time. I see this is working. All right, Lord Stand-Up asks, when you were in elementary school, did America exist yet? Look, bitch. Not that fucking old. And I'm not dead yet either. Okay, Avocado Diablo asks, have you ever coated yourself in Vaseline? I don't know why I said it that way. Okay, just put A or B. Is it Vaseline, A, or is it B, Vaseline? A, Vaseline, B, Vaseline. I'm pretty sure it's B, but I'm not sure. Anyway, have you ever coated yourself in Vaseline and rolled down a giant sand dune? I have not, however. What? Oh, you answered my question. Okay, let me go back and find the answer to the question. Is that why you're yelling at me again? You're always yelling at me in the chat. What's with these young kids these days trying to yelling at their elders and shit? Come on now. Okay, I'll come back to your question. Okay, here we go. Have you ever coated yourself in Vaseline and rolled down a giant sand? No, but I've been sweaty and have done that. That sucked. Thankfully, it was on a beach, and I could just go get in the ocean and wash that shit off. Okay, now, Midnight has been so kind to answer my question that if I gave her $6, if I gave you $6 right now, I asked her, what would you do with it? What would you do with it, $6? To which she has answered, I would give the $6 to a homeless person. Oh. Girl. You are a special young lady. All right. Oh, Little Wild Wolf. I just noticed you were here. What's up? Nice to have you here too. All right, here we go. Where was I? Right there. Vaseline. Okay. And then the last one was, would you? Would I what? You already asked the question. I answered the question. Okay. Avocado Stably asks, as a professional bartender, if you became a professional race driver who moonlighted as a professional wrestler, what would your finishing move be? Professional bartender, professional race car driver, professional wrestler. I got it. Now, it would have to be as part of a tag team, but my tag team partner would have a toy beer truck. And I would smash the toy beer truck over the head of my opponent while the ref wasn't looking, knock them out, and then pin them and be yelling at the ref to get over here and count because he's being distracted by the other tag team partner of the other guy. But I would be there until, because this guy's knocked out anyway, so I could just stay there as long as I can. And I'd be yelling, get over here. And finally the ref would have my attention and he'd come over and do a quick 1, 2, 3, and I would win. Is there such thing as a race beer truck? Okay, Lord Stanhope asks, is the national debt actually real? Well, yeah, we do owe $37 trillion to a lot of different entities, basically. I mean, mostly it's because it's kind of like the bond, it's bonds. So yeah, we're supposed to pay it back. They're supposed to be guaranteed, but then then they just fuck it up and try to print more money to pay it off, but that causes inflation. We're fucked. I'm just saying. Well, I'm not. I'm going to be dead in 10, 15 years. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but y'all are fucked. Okay. Lord Stanhope asks, that was Lord Stanhope, by the way. Lord Stanhope also asks, what do you honestly think about Vanessa Del Rio? God, Vanessa, I forgot who she was. I'm having to look a lot of shit up today. This Del Rio, she's just an actress, right? Wait a minute. Is she a porn actress? I am not familiar. I thought it was like, I thought that was, the same as Ariana Grande. Ew. Who? Ow! What? Oh, God. No. Nasty. Oh my God. Why did I even look that up? No, she nasty. Avocado Stably. Wait, she doesn't even say that to her dad. It's just dad. Okay. Wait, what'd she say? Wait. I am not special. I am as normal as everyone else. No, I don't mean like special. I mean, it's a special thing. That's a very nice thing to do. I'm just saying I'm saying that I'm talking to Midnight. I'm saying that that's a nice, honorable thing to do. And I appreciate that you would think of helping out other people if I gave you $6. So that's a good thing. Okay. Who came up with this Vanessa Del Rio thing? Ew. She's nasty. Okay. Avocado Diablo asks, if you could destroy one planet, I'm assuming you meant planet and not one plant. Because it says, if you could destroy one plant in the solar system, which would it be and how would you destroy it? And again, I'm assuming you mean planet. Well, first of all, if I could destroy one planet, wait, in the solar system or in the galaxy? What is it? In the solar system. Oh, no. No, I'm afraid to fuck with any of the planets in our solar system because we don't exactly know if there's some sort of order to there's synchronization. You know what I mean? Like if destroying one planet in the solar system would have any kind of effect on the orbits of any of the other planets. I don't even know. I'm not fucking with the planets in the solar system because I always thought, was it Martian? He's always gonna, I don't disintegrate you, that guy, and he was always gonna destroy a planet. But like, what if you destroyed a planet and it altered the orbits of all the other planets? that could be really nasty. I'm not playing that game, even though they don't go around at the same time. It's still, I'm not fucking with no planets. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. So I'm not even answering that question. Avocado Stably asks, how many salmon would one need to defeat an entire U.S. Navy? Holy shit. It'd be in the billions, because the salmon wouldn't be fighting the U.S. Navy. They'd just be clogging up shit on all the ships somehow, and it could happen. It'd take a lot. I'm saying we're in the billions, but yeah, I don't know. Avocado Stabby asks, do you think the Indiana Jones movies would have been as celebrated if Tom Selleck had starred in them like was originally intended? I do think so. I think he could have pulled it off very much the same way Harrison Ford did. Even though it'd be a little more in the Magnum vein of things, but still, I think if it was written the same way, directed the same way, I think Tom Selleck could have done it. I think so. Avocados Dabbly asks, would you take a stretched AMC Pacer to prom? Oh, hell fucking yeah. Hell yeah, that would be the coolest. If you stretch AMC Pacer, that would be fucking cool. And they're the ugliest cars. By the way, little caveat here. I drove an AMC Pacer for a short period of time. My grandmother had one, and she handed it down for a while, and I drove that AMC Pacer until the tranny fell out. So yeah, but a stretch AMC Pacer, that would like nowadays especially, that'd be fucking cool. Now back when I had the AMC Pacer and it was the most embarrassing thing to drive in the world, no. But now I would love to have one, a really good AMC. Come on, man. All right. Avocados Diabli asks. Shit, I kind of lost track here because I scrolled too far. Holy shit, there's a lot of questions. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go lightning round because I'm running out of time. I thought I'd have plenty of time to do this, but there's a lot of questions today. Okay, Avocados Diabli asks, if bread-based monsters were running amok, what form of bread do you think would be the most deadly? Hot cross buns, no doubt about it. Although, like, 3-day-old bagels would be a close second because those things would fucking hurt. At Lord Stand-Up asks, who is the worst person you know? That I know? Like, who's the worst person I know? I've never thought of the answer to that question. Who is the worst person I know? This isn't good. So when I was growing up, there's a kid who lived across 108th Street. He murdered his own brother. He's probably the worst person I know. I mean, it didn't happen until 20 years after I didn't live there anymore, but he murdered his own brother. That's pretty bad. Nah, that wasn't good. Shot his own brother to death. That's the worst. Okay. Lord Stand-Up asks, what historical figure would you be willing to accept a beatdown from? None. I fuck him up. I don't know. I mean, for what purpose? Like, to save the world? I mean, Abraham Lincoln? I don't know, because he's pretty good with them vampires, and that'd be kind of cool, even until you're dead. Avocado Diabli asks, how much would someone have to pay you to run through the State of the Union address naked while singing the theme song to Laverne and Shirley carrying a sign that says free bagels? What are you offering? Because, you know, it sounds kind of sexy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It'd have to be in the millions. In the millions plus whatever bail would cost. Lord Stand-Up asks, are you disappointed Trump never formed a guerrilla fighting league? Nah, That doesn't sound that cool to me. Just saying. Avocado Salad asks, would you ever have done one of those cleanses where you swallow like 50 yards or 50 yards of cloth, and then when it starts to pass, you slowly pull the rest out of your ass? That would hurt like hell. Then you'd be dragging out intestines and shit with you. Well, and literally those two things. That would hurt. No, that would hurt. That would hurt like hell. Okay, Avocado Salad, do you think it's a bad sign when you cough and get the taste of rotting flesh in your mouth? Yeah, that might be a problem. Just saying. Select a Boy asks, who's the one celebrity you wanted to meet before they passed away? Stevie Ray Vaughan. I would have loved to meet Stevie Ray Vaughan. I would love to sit with him just there with like an acoustic guitar and just hear him jam for like an hour and talk about how he comes up with, you know, where he learned all this and how he came up with it. You know, I would love to have met him. Lord Stanham asks, will you have a good dinner? Tonight? Dinner. Why will we have a good dinner? We're probably it's gonna be like a fridge seek and destroy tonight, because we got to start cleaning out the fridge for Thanksgiving, and there's a lot of stuff in our fridge right now. So it'll be fine. Good is whatever. Midnight asks, what would you do if there was a tiger in your house? Go outside, lock the doors, and call animal control, because it would be hilarious to see what they did. Like, yeah, we've got this cat in our house and we can't get it out. And can you come and help us, please? Fucking animal control comes and it's a fucking tiger. That would be amazing. Okay, Avocado Diablo asks, would you be upset if we got you blackout drunk and had that thumbnail of Adam Schiff tattooed on the back of your head and never told you? Yes, Avocado Diablo, I would be very angry, especially when I found out. See, because I shaved my head, and if you would force me to grow my hair back in, that would be like to piss me off. But I do have hair. I only have one like little bald spot now. Even when I started shaving my head, I didn't have a bald spot, but now I do. If the hair grows in, I got a bald spot. But and as long as Adam Schiff's nose didn't poke out of the bald spot, or his eyes, the eyes would be, or his mouth. Oh no, if it was his mouth, God, stop it. I'm terrible. Hello, TC, what's up? Okay, this is total lightning round now. It's got to be fast, got to be quick. Lord Stanham asks, if they say when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, what do you do if the life hands you a sack of horse manure? I would go to India for a poop throwing contest. Selected Boy was that. You had to be here yesterday to understand that one. Selected Boy asked, was there a time when you woke up and you were like, oh shit, I'm going to be late for work, only to realize you have a day off? Oh, I've done it. I did that. I had a week of vacation, and it was like one of the rare vacations where we don't do something. And I got up, went to work, and and plus the worst part of it, not only did I get up to go to work, but I dreamed that my alarm went off. So I got up, got ready for work. I go in there, and I was like, why am I 2 hours early? And then when a couple of supervisors started walking in, they're like, what are you doing here? Aren't you on vacation this week? I'm like, oh shit. So yes, I have done that. Lars Stand Up asks, when you die and you have your funeral, would you pay someone to put a speaker playing fart noises in your casket to mess with people? Oh, I'm already thinking about what I can do to mess with people. or like have a casket, like when you open it and like the casket opens, how like when you have a music box that opens and music starts playing? I would have a casket that when you opened it, it would say, surprise, motherfucker. That would be awesome. Surprise, motherfucker. That would be hilarious. Okay. Miss Wildwolf asks, what is your favorite thing about Thanksgiving? Just being around family and friends. It's one of those times where everyone gets together. That's so important to me. I really feel bummed though. My son and my daughter-in-law are not coming for Thanksgiving. But it is what it is. But I really, really like having family around and just talking and not having any pressure to do anything. I don't need to entertain anybody. We just have some good food and talk and laugh and just get caught up with everybody. So that's the best thing. Miss Wildwolf asks, if you had yolk on your face, would you wipe it off right away or blend it as a moisturizer? Well, since you spelled yoke, Y-O-K-E, which is like one of those harnesses that you put on an oxen and a team, and like, I don't know if I could wipe it off. I'd probably throw it off. Now, if you meant an egg yolk, I would just wipe it off. I don't do moisturizer. I'm black don't crack. I don't need moisturizer. What Ms. Wildwood asks, what is your favorite food for Thanksgiving? Probably it's a toss up between my sweet potatoes, because I make really good sweet potatoes, and I also make a decent corn casserole. But I've been getting a lot better over the years at just roasting my turkey, and my turkeys turned out, the last 10 years in a row have turned out perfect. Nothing better than a well roasted turkey that's nice and juicy, nice and well seasoned. It's just good. Ms. Wildwood asks, what are 3 things you like about the area you live and why? I like the fact that we have changes of seasons. I love that. Also where I live, there's a couple really good parks just to walk in. One's a regional county park. Actually, there's 4 parks right near where I live. 2 regional county parks. There's a state park within 5 miles, and there's lots of good choices of places to eat in my area. Ms. Wildwood asks, is this the last question? No. Miss Wildwood, or Avocados Diablo asks, do Australians have emu fights? I don't think so. No, they're afraid of the emus. Emus fuck them up. So I don't think they have emu fights. Ms. Wildwood asks, what is your favorite book to read? I haven't read a lot of books lately. I used to like Grisham novels, basically all those law whatever. I used to love those. I loved when my kids were little, we read all the Harry Potter books. I actually enjoyed those. So there's 2 choices. Ms. Wildwood asks, what is the worst rabbit hole that you've ever gone down? If you follow me on Twitter, this stupid thing about the lakes. Oh my God, people get so butthurt and hung up on lakes, and they come up with so much stupid shit that people say. And now I'm just like, okay, I'm done. Although I'm now going to make a video about it, so that'll be funny. Because it gets engagement. JB asks, if every time you tried to sleep, you were attacked by the spirits of angry lemons, would you deal with it? How would you deal with it? Oh my God. What neutralizes lemons? I don't know. Flamethrowers? Oh no, the spirits of angry lemons. Okay, I would dream of flamethrowers. Avocados Diablo asks, if you had eye surgery and were hallucinating naked women, but those naked women were all trans Bill Clinton, would you gouge out your own eyes? Yeah, that's you. Ms. Wildwood asks, did you know that the Islamic religion has a lot of pagan traditions they continue to this day? Well, a lot of religion, we have pagan we have pagan traditions that we call Christmas stuff. I mean, Christmas trees, even Easter, when we celebrate Easter, was kind of based on the pagan holiday, even though we're not celebrating the pagan holiday. I'm afraid of Islam. I'm sorry. Lord Sandom asks, would you care to join my Caligula Admiration Society? No. Avocados Diablo asks, if you were an ancient woman, what would your Roman name be? Doris. JB asks, what if I told you to recreate the entire Bosnian War, but with lemons? Would you do it? I'm done with the lemons, okay, JB? Just enough with the fucking lemons. Okay, huh? Okay, Avocados Diablo, how late are you? 6 minutes. Avocados Diablo, do you think UFC-style tournament with one-arm midget with Down syndrome would ever take off? Maybe. And the final question on today's Friday Q&A is from JB, because I'm not answering anything else that pops up. Have you ever heard of Shinsengumi? LOL. Not lemon related. I wish I had time, but that's it. That's it. I gotta go. I'm sorry, guys. I can't even. I have no idea. I'm here. Let me cut and paste that so I can put it in the search bar. But fuck, I can't do it. Come on. I don't even know what that is. Copy. I'm gonna put it in the search bar, and we may explore this on Monday. Not likely, but we'll see. That's it. Gotta go. Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you had fun with Friday Q&A. This is it, though. This is it. Make no mistake where you are. Oh, and yes, 89% of you said you regularly wear your seatbelt. So good for you. You are safe and wonderful Americans. Everybody have a great weekend. I got to go. My name's PDawgKnight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.